Fantastic to have you all here today. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to get a bit more information and learn a bit more about the ANU. We're really excited to have you here with us. We'd like to introduce Brian Schmidt, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, and we'd also like to introduce Paul Giroa House. Paul, could we get you up here to introduce yourself and perform the Welcome to Nation, please?
Mandangu, Waragawari, thank you, and Naramarang, Jumburuburu Marambang, Mayin Maranya. Good morning, everyone. Yuandu Paul Giroa House, Maradu Marai Biringu, Murundurai Gujigangu, Nyambri Nurumbango Dara. I was born here on Nyambri country at the Old Canberra Hospital. Baladu Yari Nyambri Wogalu, Wiradri Niang, I speak Nyambri Wogalu, Wiradri language. Yilangalangbo, Gibabango Wogabo Migabo, Diranilbang Mayin. Ladies and gentlemen, young men, young women, distinguished guest, Vice Chancellor Brian Schmidt, Nyadin Jamali Nyambri Gumal Wogalu, Wallabalo Nunawa, Mujigang Yanangbu Jayandu. My respects to Nyambri Gumal Wogalu, Wallabalo and Nunawa, Wiradri elders past and present. Nyadi and Jamarabu, Mujigango, Nurumbanjigu, Ninya Yeridu. My respects to all people, elders from all parts of the country here this morning. Nyambri, Wogalu, Wallabaloa, Nunawa, Mayin Banya Ninyuga, Nurumbangu Dara. Nyambri, Wogalu, Wallabaloa, Nunawa people welcome you all to country. Nadu, Urugabigi, Balabambo, Gubu, Balagi, Bangubu, Guingulila, Dumbali now, Muruwai Marambo. We listen to our old people, our ancestors. They show us the right path. Tulagang Muru, straight path. Guinguliala, Bilingali now, Yamamali now, Wallamali now. They protect us, they guide us, they nurture us, they assist us. Mambo wara, Naminyago, Wuragabinya, Wura Daraigo, Winningala Gubaligo. Looking to see, listening to hear, and learning to understand. Yinjamara, Yinjamal Gijo, Yinjamali, Yinjamarabu. It's a word, ideology, a philosophy on country. It means many different things. It's all about the good nutrients. It means to go slow, be patient, be kind, be gentle, take responsibility, respect. Respect is everything. Yinjamara Bala, Magamnawa, Bogongu Diranda. Respect can be found in the journey of the Bogong moths in the mountains. Yinjamara Bala Birida, Birna Bina Bira, Yawulawil, Wurawan Nuramanga. Respect is in the Canberra Creek and the breeze quietly moving through country. Yinjamara Bala Walam Wangadabu, Murmarndabu, Banmayu, Gurungambira. Respect is in the grinding stones and the carved trees made long ago on country. Yinjamara, Wirimbira Marandogubu, Giiragubu, Yandogubu. Respect is taking responsibility for the now, the past, and the present. Our welcome to countries are always made in the spirit of peace and a desire for harmony for all people of modern ACT, modern Australia and surrounds. And our main aim as local custodians is to establish an atmosphere of mutual respect through the acknowledgement of our ancestors and the recognition of our rights to declare our special place in the pre and post history of the region. And we warmly welcome everyone now living, working, visiting, and hopefully studying here at the ANU. We've cared for Mother Earth since the dawn of time, and evidence of our occupation, our statehood, our sovereignty can be seen everywhere throughout the land. Our signature is in the land, not just our DNA. And taking care of country is important to us all. Murumuginya Yinjamara, Murumuru, Wirimbiradara. A respectful way of life cares for country. The name Canberra is derived from the name of our ancestral group and people, the Nyambri, and was gazetted as Canberra Station right here on the 22nd of January 1834 under the New South Wales colonial government. Yinjamara Bala, Magumnawa, Wijinga Yina, Daganda Wangara, Baba Yirinigo. Respect is in how our matriarchs dig in the earth for yams. The law of the land talks about giving respect and honour to all people in all parts of the country, being patient, being polite, that Yinjamara. Then people will respect you. Walangunmala mara mara gurai. Be brave, make change. Nawan bira, murawara, diriyawana. Get up, stand up, show up. Especially the class. We'll see a lot of that happening next year. So in conclusion, it's Marambang Malang, Noya Goya Malang. It's fabulous to be here, to be able to share this welcome to country for you all, to make you feel comfortable, make you feel safe here on campus. It's a special place, it's a wonderful place. It's a key landscape here on country, and it's wonderful to be able to Nurumba, Nain Mura Burumba Bira, to share and take care of everyone here on campus is an important responsibility for me as a custodian of site stories and country here at the ANU. So with that, I talk about, on behalf of our matriarchs, our patriarchs, because of them we can. I say, Nia Ninya, Girama Moranya, respect shapes us and lifts up the people. Injamara Mayin. So Mandangu Wurugawari, welcome to the ANU, and it's wonderful to see you all here. And I'll see you very soon outside. You're welcome to be part of a smoking ceremony. Brian will talk more about. Before I go, I'm going to play a song on the Yiriki, the didgeridoo here. So as part of my welcome to country, I'd like to welcome up 4 prospective students to come up here with me and share with me a welcome song on the Yiriki. So please feel free to come up. It's a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day to be here, and it's all about sharing. So Mandangu Wurugawari, thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for that acknowledgement of country and welcome to country. We'll now be introducing Brian Schmidt, our Vice Chancellor and Nobel laureate, to welcome you to ANU.
Welcome, everyone. And thank you to our prospective students who understand now why you don't sit in the front row of class. It's great to see everyone here. I want to thank Paul for your welcome. Paul is a student. He's a staff member. And we had the honor of having him and his mother, Matilda, who is also often around our campus, give the welcome to Parliament, the opening of Parliament this year. And so it is great to have the houses as an integral part of the ANU community. And I do appreciate him as a custodian of the Ngambri people of being prepared to give so much time and effort so that we can all share in the literally 1,000-generation history of this part of the world. And it's a really exciting part that I have found in my time here at ANU is learning just all the things that are part of that culture. It's really quite an exciting part of what you are on about when you come to university. So thank you, Paul, and I'd like to acknowledge the Ngambri Ngunnawal people and their elders past and present. So we have just finished our 75th anniversary, and that is a very actual short amount of time for a university. And it is, on the other hand, a very long amount of time compared to most of the people in this room. But a university shares a history of all universities around the world, 1,000 years. And while we adapt that history of where we go through and we think at the center of everything, knowledge, that is what a university is about knowledge. And it's a very unique part of our society, and it is a wonderful part of society that our community invests in to ensure that knowledge is transferred as equitably as we can to the entire world for our respective benefit. And part of that is, as I say, our First Nations history, 65,000 years. And it is an amazingly rich history that most of us know very little about, and we are continuing learning about. And so if we have First Nations students here, this is a wonderful place to come and study. And you will have a rich collection of people from around Australia and around the world. And when you go out and you see, for example, Megan Davis, who is one of the big authors of the Uluru Statement of the Heart, she's an ANU student. You see many other people, Marcia Langton, another graduate of this university. So it is a really empowering place for everyone, no matter what their backgrounds are. So it is great to have an in-person open day, but I do welcome those online as well, because I think it is not possible for everyone to travel here, and so we're learning that not everything has to be in person, but there's a lot of advantage of being in person. And so it is great to have everyone back on campus on a reasonable weather day. For those of you not from Canberra, this is sort of in the middle of what a day might be this time of year. No, you're not in Brisbane. You're definitely not in Cairns. So it is, as I said, a good chance to go out and see what the university is about. So the decision of where to go to university is a really important decision for all of you. And it's a decision that will help shape probably your independence as a person more than anything else. This is the time when you go and you start becoming the mixture of your parents' upbringing and what you're going to be in the future. And it's an incredible time of relationships, of learning who and what you want to be. And so it is something that there is no right or wrong decision, but it is a decision that is important to you. And so I encourage you to think hard about it, and in the end, I think you have to go sort of where your heart tells you to go. That's how you don't have regrets. And certainly, in my case, I always did where my gut feeling took me, rather, informed, of course, by my intellect. But in the end, it's an emotional time. It's not just by the numbers time. Your time here is not just in front of a classroom, drilling down and getting grades, and that's it. It's actually, that's a quarter or 20% of your life. Life at a university is so many other things. It's about, as I said, meeting and learning a whole bunch of people who are from completely different backgrounds than you, from all around the world, learning things you never thought you'd even be interested in, doing things you never thought you would do, challenging yourself. And so it's a big investment. Many of you are prepared potentially to move a long ways away from home to come here. I grew up in Alaska. Alaska's a long ways away from everywhere. It's sort of like, well, I don't know, it's kind of like Broome or something, I suppose, in Australia. And so I moved thousands of kilometers away, so I kind of get the sense of it. And I moved from the coldest state in the United States, Alaska, to the hottest state, Arizona. It turns out the weather was a bigger change for me than I had expected. I really struggle at 50 degrees, it turns out. I think most people do, actually. So I obviously grew up in North America. And when I chose to go to the University of Arizona, I chose because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do in life. So I chose to do astronomy, not because I thought I was going to get a job. Right? I didn't go there for my astronomy skills. I went there because I knew I was going to learn a whole bunch of things at university around astronomy, including physics and computing and engineering. And so I felt those were going to be skills that would be useful to get me a job doing something in life. And so I also want you to remind yourself that university is an education that we layer some skills on. It's not a vocation. It's not just skills that build on your high school education. It is allowing you to build up a skill set to think and interact with the world of the future, which we don't really know is going to be like. So it's trying to give you a skill set that will last the rest of your life. Now, you're all going to have to keep learning. It's not just 3-year degree and gone. You're going to have to continue to learn and skill up. But having that foundation of a large range of skills, networks, and understanding of how to solve problems, that's what you're, I think, wanting to get out of a university. At least that's what you want to get out of ANU if you want to come here. So I chose ANU for a variety of reasons. Indeed, I got to talk to the Jobs Summit yesterday about it. Astronomy, I did end up eventually becoming an astronomer, and I married an economist, and so we chose to come to ANU because it was a great job for me, and my wife, as an economist, could work here in Canberra and get a great job as an economist. And the country was very, very welcoming. And so we have a lot of international students, about 100 different countries represented on our campus. And so one of the things I'm particularly proud about this campus is it is very international and very welcoming to people from around the world. And that's certainly how I found it. So again, we do have these amazing world-leading faculties, but I think the reason why I, as an undergraduate, would come here is because of the whole package. Yes, great people, but it has a scale and size that is smaller than almost any other research university in Australia. Actually, it is smaller than any other research university, which means we have a scale where you can continue to interact with each other, with faculty, and our campus is a place that is a community. It's not a place that you come in and minimize the amount of time on campus and then go home. Again, if that is an experience that you're trying to optimize for, we're probably not the place for you. We are a place that will be a focus of your life, and we will try to give you a huge amount of opportunities. It's going to be self-driven. We don't tell you what to do, but you will have opportunities to kind of chart your own course. And what we have found is that many of our students end up helping the university create new things that they want that we don't have. So it is really a community that you are part of here. For me, it was a great decision to come here. There was no way I would have ended up winning a Nobel Prize if I had stayed in the United States, because I would not have been given the freedom to do it there by the social structures of my field of study. But here I was given, as a very young person, the freedom to go out and do what I thought was best. And that's what is a great part of ANU, is that it very much is individual focused in a very tightly knit community. So part of university life is built around developing, exploring, and expressing opinions of views. We are a very diverse community, and we do not all agree with everyone, but we always take everything from the position of respect. Respect to the breadth of ideas out there. And yes, we want to challenge and think and maybe even reframe our own ideas. I reframe my own ideas on a regular basis based on talking to everyone from my philosophy professors to a brand new student who's come and with a new idea that I hadn't thought about. And it's a brilliant part of life, being able to realize that you might be wrong. And you know, the happiest day of my life is when I'm wrong on something because I've learned something and I've changed my point of view. That's a real feeling of exhilaration. And you get it a lot at a university, and it's a really exciting thing to experience. We really encourage our students to have a voice and to think about things, and you will see our students out today, as they do, expressing their views on a number of things, and I encourage them to do that, always, though, from a point of view of respect. So I encourage you to take the time to listen and talk to them and understand what they're up to, but also be prepared to ask questions about what they're saying and make sure that you understand why and what they're thinking. One thing that you are going to be keen to know is, how does your study work here? We have a very flexible system, one of the most flexible in the world, and that causes a little chaos sometimes because there are 700 combinations of degrees, but that means you really do, if you want to become a cybersecurity expert who does digital humanities, we can do that for you, right? And some people do that. So these degrees are created so that you are in charge. And being able to study 2 bachelor degrees at the same time is a very unique thing. I mean, I did it the hard way, can I say, at the University of Arizona by taking 7 classes a semester for 4 years. I don't recommend that. But if you were, for example, to do two qualifications, all with the normal full-time workload, I think, Chris, you're doing this, right? Yep. And he's doing engineering and commerce. So if you want to become maybe not the next Elon Musk, let's think of an entrepreneur. I guess I had Scott Farquhar. If you want to be the next Scott Farquhar, the head of Atlassian, who I was on the stage with yesterday, that's a great job. You learn business, you learn engineering, you get 2 degrees in the time with only a small extra amount of time. And sometimes we find it good, and parents, sorry to tell you this, sometimes your child will not want to do the degree that you want them to do. And double degrees are a great way to keep both of you happy sometimes, okay? So not necessarily recommended, but it is a solution to the age-old problem of doing 1 degree for your parents and 1 degree for you. So, as I said, there are a whole range of combinations, and you will see that we're trying to make it easier and easier to make those combinations work seamlessly. And so we do change things around a little bit to try to make sure that everyone has the greatest flexibility and in their degrees. So we also offer a range of postgraduate programs, and those are really to try to take the world-leading research we have and to give people insights into things to expand their career. Now, most of you in this audience are probably not thinking about that, but it is interesting to see that more and more people are, as I said, having to go maybe not immediately after they finish their undergraduate degree, but later on in life to expand and get a master's, often done more flexibly where you can work and study at the same time. So it is an exciting time in higher education, and COVID has really shaken things, and it's been a less than great time being in high school and in university, but hopefully out of it we actually end up with a better, stronger set of offerings for everyone, rather than kind of trivializing the educational experience and just making one giant Zoom call for 4 years, which is, of course, what we don't want. So many opportunities here. One of the things that, as I said, you get to do is that, especially in later years, you'll have more and more opportunity to interact with scholars here and do things and kind of design your own, you know. Figure out what you would like to do that's interesting to you, and that is a really unique opportunity made possible by having so many researchers for the amount of students we have. That is unique here in Australia. You're going to, you know, when you're here, it is a community that is research-led, so you're going to learn from people who actually wrote the textbooks, who actually made the discoveries, and I still even get the chance to at least teach a few classes as Vice Chancellor. It's not quite as easy as running my own course like I did before becoming Vice Chancellor. And it is a really, really rich set of opportunities, everything from space science that I do to anthropology, both that, you know, are at, you know, start with A, but are at sort of the different ends of the scale. And yes, we do have people doing physics and anthropology as a combined degree, so that too is possible. We have a range of other things around campus. We talk around, there's this great history of, you know, 20,000 plus years of First Nations culture. There are artifacts all around campus. There are scarred trees and a rich history there. We have the Southern Hemisphere's largest supercomputer here, which, you know, I have found out maybe some of our past students have used to mine Bitcoin, but hopefully you'll do something more constructive these days. We have a classics museum that has some amazing artifacts. We have some significant collections within our libraries that are unique in the world for the Asia Pacific. Our School of Music has a bunch of state-of-the-art digital recording studios, which famous people come and use. And it was indeed modeled after Abbey Road in London, and so I have a particular fondness from that. And we also have an indigenous recording studio, which is there to help create and foster an indigenous recording music capability across all of Australia, and so people are coming in there. So we had just the other day William Barton, who is a staff member here, considered to be Australia's best didgeridoo player, just decided to go out and start, you know, playing in the courtyard there, and I was kind of mad because I was up in Sydney and I missed it. But things like that happen. Next door in the Manning Clark Theatre in Canberra, you have the huge Eureka Stockade work done that has been gifted to us from the Federal Treasury, where it was originally gone, and it's quite a remarkable piece of work. And there are literally tens of thousands of pieces of art around here. Very much thinking about modern Australia in the art collection here rather than the old masters. But it is an amazing 145 hectare campus that has some of the, I guess, normal parts of a university campus all within that Australian bush setting that makes it a very unique place, but a place that many, many people, including the 6,000 students who reside on our campus, to call home. And it's a great, nurturing environment, and I encourage everyone, if you can, do try to stay on campus, especially for that first year. It's a place to really make bonds. If you can't, we do go out of our way to try to connect students to campus as well through our Griffith Hall, but it is hard to replicate everything within those residence halls. So it's an exciting time. We look forward to being able to host you at ANU if you think this is the right place. We have a wealth of wonderful alumni around the world who you will come across, and you should ask them. Go out, ask the students today. Go around, check out other universities, and make that decision between your mind and your heart where you want to spend this incredibly important time of your life. So thank you so much. Enjoy your open day, and I look forward to seeing many of you here soon. Cheers. Jack and Chris, back to you.
Thanks. Thanks to the Vice Chancellor. We've run a little over schedule. Brian always has a lot to say. So we'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we hope you'll enjoy the experience. We're going to be having an information session on engineering and computer science at ANU and here. And if you miss any of the information sessions, you can catch up later online. And so to check out the day's activities, simply scan the QR code on your program, and you should be able to get a gamut of different experiences. So thank you very much, and enjoy the open day.
We come from all across Australia and from all corners of the earth. We come because we are called to face the complex challenges of a changing world. We come seeking space to discover and to imagine a nation's future. We come to a global capital, to a hub of progress, to the heart of change. We come to meet each other and to meet tomorrow for tomorrow's sake. We come because we are called to define our futures at the meeting place.
Are you thinking about moving away from home to come to ANU? I did, and today I want to show you around so you can see why I love it so much. This is Canberra, the central hub of the uni, and it's a great place to grab a coffee on the way to a lecture. Now I want to show you the Ambush Gallery. They often put on exhibitions of student art here, and the exhibition opening nights are always a lot of fun. Now I'm going to show you along the residential halls of Daly Road. Because I moved to Canberra from Queensland, I found it such a relief that ANU has an accommodation guarantee for all incoming first year students. Also, as you can see, there are so many great accommodation options to choose from. Hope you've enjoyed the tour today. Make sure you get online and apply now.
Do you want me to show you what a typical day at ANU looks like? Let's go. The best thing about ANU is the campus is everything you need. We've got a club line, which is an amazing gym. We've got the libraries and Student Central, which are great places if you need support. And most of all, we've got chart time. The class sizes are really small here, which makes it so much easier to get one-to-one support. Well, there's a lights festival on tonight called Enlighten, so I reckon I'm going to head there. So I'll see you in a couple hours and I'll show you around. Hope you enjoyed the day, thanks for joining, and we'll see you next year.
Hey, I'm Sammy and I'm a student at ANU, and I want to tell you why I moved to Melbourne to start uni and then moved back to go to ANU. Basically, I'm from Canberra, I grew up here, and I decided to move to Melbourne when I was 19 to start uni because I just wanted to change and to experience big city life.
But actually what I found was big city life was really overwhelming and really not a great environment for studying. And ultimately I decided to move back. When I decided to move back, the application process was actually super easy. I just applied like I usually would and used my marks from my last year in Melbourne.
There's so much to do here. Like everything that you want to do in a big city, you can do in Canberra, but everything here is just so much more accessible. I kind of wish that someone had just told me that earlier because Canberra's incredible and I kind of don't know why I left in the first place.
Do the winters get easier? No. Alright, let's do it. I'm Jack, I study PPE, I'm from Rockhampton, Queensland. What surprised you the most when you moved to Canberra? I would say like maybe how convenient everything is. Got kind of like a big city vibe, but in like a small city kind of layout. So it's easy to kind of get around everywhere. What was the hardest part about leaving home? It wasn't anything like homesickness or anything like that for me. I don't know, I mean, I really liked it. Do the winters get easier? Well, I'll tell you what, they were a lot easier when I was in college and we had heating in the rooms. They'd probably get easier because you're more prepared for them. That's probably the positive outtake here.
We come from all across Australia and from all corners of the earth. We come because we are called to face the complex challenges of a changing world. We come seeking space to discover and to imagine a nation's future. We come to a global capital, to a hub of progress, to the heart of change. We come to meet each other and to meet tomorrow for tomorrow's sake. We come because we are called to define our futures at the meeting place.